Hey, Nebraska, I hear that you get to be Trump's next bankruptcy. Good for you. Way to go. See, your racism and your transphobia and your hatred of women was just bigger than your sense of self-preservation. Yes, it was. And now you're going to lose your granddaddy's farm. See, just like during the pandemic, when there were all of these subsidies and bailouts for farmers, but they went to the mega corporate farms instead of folks like you, you didn't learn your lesson. So now all those tax breaks and handouts and subsidies are going to go to the folks that are waiting in the wings to swoop up your little piece of legacy so they can turn it into just another plot of land on a spreadsheet. So as you're packing up your Mima's mementos, emptying out that room where you raised your babies, loading up that dinner table where hundreds of family gatherings made magic, it's going to be hard. But just know that we're so happy for you, that you got what you voted for. We absolutely love this for you. Peace out. Something, something bootstraps.
The state of Nebraska has fucked around and found out as they are ready to go bankrupt in the next 6 months. Their state's economy relies heavily on agriculture, and over 70% of their workforce is from undocumented immigrants. Knowing this, they voted for Trump, hoping that he would get rid of the undocumented immigrants. And now they are severely understaffed across the entire state, unable to find enough workers to replace the undocumented immigrants who supplied their state with enough workforce. This is the find out stage of fuck around and find out. In the next 6 months, the state of Nebraska will be entirely bankrupt, unable to support itself, and be looking for a bailout from the federal government. All because they let their racism and hate towards immigrants be more important than their economic livelihoods. There's nothing to feel bad about here. They voted for this. They knew exactly what they were voting for. Now they have what they wanted. Let's see how it turns out for them.
Hi everyone, welcome to another FAFO season episode. My name is Vanessa if you're new here, and in today's video we are going to see how MAGA voters from Nebraska are freaking out, are finding out the results of what they have played themselves in this few days ago, where they just voted for racism, voted for hatred. They just wanted to kick out those farmers. Absolutely, this shows that they voted against their workmates. Imagine 65% of these farmers, immigrants, are not documented, and this means that they are not attending, they're not coming to work, they are just hiding themselves in the house because they don't want to get deported. That's why you see farming is not really doing well as it was. So now Nebraska farmers are not able to manage this situation. Paying taxes, paying the creditors is not easy for them. So without taking much of your time, let's dive into the video. Credit belongs to all original creators that we're going to see here. Kindly stay tuned.
I'm so excited for everyone to call me a bad person again in my comments, but guess what? I do not care about Nebraska going bankrupt in 6 months. I do not care. I do not care. Maybe a few other of those red states should go bankrupt in 6 months so the blue states can swoop in to save them, so they can understand that we are not the bad ones. We are not the poor ones. We are not the ones who cannot survive under the orange turds' crazy policies. But you know why I don't feel bad for Nebraska? You know why? Because I believe I heard 65% of their workforce is undocumented people, which means they're not coming to work anymore, which means work's not happening, which means all the farmers in Nebraska are going to go bankrupt because they all went out there and voted against their neighbors. 65% of neighbors who are immigrants, okay? Fuck around and find out at this point. You know what I mean? And of course, I do feel bad for those blue people in Nebraska who did not vote for this. So unfortunate. That's what you get for being racist and not wanting immigrants in this country, even though they're paying taxes and contributing. So
maybe y'all saw the news out of Nebraska today. Apparently our entire state is going to go bankrupt in 2 quarters. Me and my husband owned a cattle ranch here, and I can confirm that all of the cattle ranchers here overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We support him. We voted for him. Something like 70% of our entire workforce is undocumented immigrants, and they straight up are not showing up for work anymore. They have all either fled the country, fled the state. They don't want to get raided while at work, so they have just moved on to work somewhere else. And straight up, we are going to go bankrupt now. We are going to go bankrupt. And yeah, we voted. We knew that the immigrants would get deported, and he was coming after immigrants, yet we still voted for it. Overwhelmingly voted for our own demise. I was talking to my husband last night, and I have to admit that it seems a bit foolish now when you think about it like that we voted for something that is now putting us directly out of business.
Hey, Nebraska, is this you? Come on up to the front of the classroom. I have some information for you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So I know that when you elected Donald Trump, you decided to put all of your apprehensions aside and elect a person who was clear about his intentions. He was going to get rid of undocumented immigrants, which would cause your primary industry, the agriculture industry, to go down. Then he decided to do away with the farm subsidies, basically welfare, that would just annihilate farmers in Nebraska. But wait, there's more. Those two things are just the tip of the iceberg. I was told from a well-placed source that you guys are considering bankruptcy in the not so distant future. They said 6 months or so. So if you combine all of that bad news with these people deciding to vote against you who desperately need health care, they are and will and have voted for a framework of a budget that would basically annihilate Medicaid in your state. Let me give you a secret. I don't know if you know this, but over 341,000 residents in Nebraska are on Medicaid. That represents $3.7 billion of revenue, of money, of spending that goes to the state of Nebraska for health care. And this is not just healthcare, just ad nauseum. This is healthcare that goes to take care of patients and then also goes to fund hospitals in a rural state, hospitals that are desperately needed. Now, this is the kicker. Of that $3 billion or so that goes into the state, the federal government picks up 69%. In essence, only 30% of that money you have to contribute. But the problem is, since you're going bankrupt and all, you're not going to be able to contribute that. You have come into the zone of FAFO. Unfortunately, this map, is going to be your downfall.
So, the recent surge in farm bankruptcies among Nebraska farmers has prompted a complex array of reactions, particularly among those who supported Donald Trump, often associated with the Make America Great Again movement. Policy revaluation, the financial distress in the agriculture sector is prompting discussions about the need for comprehensive immigration reform, recognizing the essential role of immigrant labor in farming operations. Some stakeholders advocate for policies that balance border security with the economic necessities of the agriculture industry. About community solidarity, the challenges faced by farmers have led to increased solidarity within agricultural communities. Farmers are collaborating to share resources and strategies to mitigate the impact of labor shortages and financial hardships. Let's talk about economic hardship. The enforcement of stringent immigration policies has exacerbated labor shortages in Nebraska, a state heavily reliant in immigrant workers for its agriculture sector. This scarcity of labor has led to increased operational costs and decreased productivity, contributing to financial instability and in some cases bankruptcy among farmers and political regret. Some MAGA supporters who initially endorsed Trump's hardline stance on immigration are now experiencing regret as the unintended economic consequences of these policies become evident. The loss of essential labor has not only affected farm operations but also strained local economies dependent on agriculture. In summary, while the intent behind stricter immigration policies was to address illegal immigration, the resultant labor shortages have had significant adverse effects on Nebraska's farming community. This situation underscores the intricate balance required in policy making to ensure that measures to protect national interests do not inadvertently harm vital economic sectors. So guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate your love, your support, your kindness, your presence. I mean, whenever I upload a video to this channel, I always see you guys. And if you haven't yet subscribed, kindly subscribe. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Just feel free. Let's just meet in the next episode.